Thank you very much for tuning back in again. Here's the next part of the presentation for the reading and the key concept questions. Political attack ads from start to finish. One of the reasons television audiences are increasingly inundated with political advertisements as elections approach is that stations are required by law to cut campaigns and interest groups a good deal. Under the Federal Communications Commission regulations, or FCC, TV stations must sell political commercial slots at the lowest unit charge in the 45 days before a primary and 60 days before a general election. That legal measure is meant to level the political playing field and ensure that a station, sensing the high pre-election demand, can't artificially inflate its advertising prices to profit from the democratic process. But long before those commercials ever air, political advertising organizations, official campaigns, super PACs, political party headquarters, political marketing agencies are busily digging up dirt and painstakingly crafting the mud pies they'll throw from screens. When it comes to attack ads, the feet on the ground for gathering up unsavory information about a rival candidate belong to oppositional research teams. These are the people combing speech transcripts, sponsored legislation, published papers and essays, anything with the rival candidate's name attached to unearth inconsistencies and offenses that might sully his or her public reputation. Technology has not only accelerated the pace of oppositional research, but has also made it much harder for politicians to cover up any dirty tracks. Thanks to online search engines, during campaign season, oppositional research operations may also deploy trackers to tail candidates around the country at stump speeches, pancake breakfasts, and anywhere else that a regrettable sound bite might pop up. Armed with digital cameras and editing software, trackers can almost instantly publish damning video content online that can be tweeted out instantly, logged, messaged out to media reporters, and of course, worked into the vicious attack ad. Then, having compiled enormous dossiers of negative information about a candidate, special interest groups and political campaigns can tailor the perfectly damning message to be televised to the appropriate audience. Determining the optimal selling points and audience for a candidate to court involves many of the same processes involved in consumer marketing. Political advertising agencies may gauge what issues and platforms matter most to different demographic groups by employing polls, surveys, and focus groups. For more real-time results, pollsters may screen political attack ads or debates, while focus groups participants continually track their reactions on perception analyzer devices. In this approach, viewers simply turn a dial on the handheld gadgets up or down, register the immediate positive or negative reactions, respectively, to what's happening on screen, which helps the marketers fine-tune what does and doesn't resonate. In the modern age of Facebook and social media, micro-targeting has also become one of the go-to methods for syncing a message with the most agreeable audience. Micro-targeting involves strategic collecting of data that people share online about their daily lives, such as brand preferences, jobs, leisure activities, and of course, political preferences, and using it to serve up more customized advertisements on websites for discrete clusters of potential voters. If, for instance, an online advertisement for a Democratic candidate pops up in someone's browser window, there's a good chance that micro-targeting has something to do with it. The status updates and tweets and online purchases that a person made tipped off a campaign that he or she would be interested in their message. And often, despite protestations from online privacy advocates that would suggest the opposite, the messages that are most likely to incite action on election day are those that skew the negative. Are negative ads effective, though? Ask voters whether they particularly enjoy negative political advertising, and the likely answer will be a resounding no. As campaigns have turned more negative, a distaste appears to have grown as well. A 2000 Gallup poll found that 60% of American adults don't approve of how politicians pitch themselves for office, often blaming the negativity inherent in those pitches for the thumbs down. 4 years later, a survey conducted by the Pew Research Center got more specific and inquired whether attack ads irked participants, and 81% raised their hands in agreement. 61% of that group further reported that it annoyed them, quote, very much. But whether folks like it or not, political attack ads work. Those ominous-sounding narrators of drama-laced attack ads repeatedly have been shown to jolt the electorate to action more effectively than positive ads touting a candidate's resume highlights. Evolutionary biologists consider that outcome a no-brainer, since early man's threat response became sharpened to keep them out of physical harm. As a result, the brain pays more attention to dire warnings about allegedly no-good politicians running for office. Likewise, a 2005 study published in the American Journal of Political Science revealed that viewers were more likely to research candidates as well as specific social and political issues in response to provocative attack ads, as opposed to more cheerful ones. Analysis conducted at the Wesleyan University has also suggested that younger, politically partisan men are more deeply affected by attack ads. Ironically, people who don't have a problem with negative advertising are least likely to be influenced by the dire marketing tactic. Now, political attack ads understandably have an unfavorable reputation, but there are certain upsides to the mudslinging. Some experts point out, for example, John Gear, author of In Defense of Negativity, is a vocal proponent of going on the attack, maintaining that negative political commercials are often more substantive than positive ones, drawing viewers' attention to specific platforms and holding politicians accountable for their words and actions. Others argue that attack ads leave such a sour taste in voters' mouths that they steer clear of the polls altogether. That possibility, however, hasn't swayed the opposition researchers and campaign strategists away from the battering rival candidates on the small screen. Still, in order for them to win the fight, attack ads must retain credibility. Rallying up voters to favor a candidate can yield successes, as long as commercials steer clear outright of fabrication. Just as political advertising experts acknowledge the power of going negative, that influence is crippled and terrifying facts turn out to be half-truths and lies. For that reason, it's important for voters to act much like savvy consumers, filtering the marketing messages tossed their way during campaign season in the same way they might with product commercials. Now, clearly, attack ads aren't resigning from the office anytime soon, especially with the arrival of deep-pocketed super PACs. But, just as on the bright side, political attack ads can hold candidates accountable, the public also is empowered via blogging, social media, and good old-fashioned word of mouth to hold those scathing messages accountable right back. In other words, attack ads are only as effective as the public decides to make them. So as you guys can see, political attack ads, as controversial as they are, in many ways do work and are a key part of our political world and our advertising and media world. Understanding how they work is critical for us and how we view politics. Thank you very much for tuning in, and good luck with completing the rest of the lesson.